So it has mentioned the minimum.
Yeah, that's all. Jazakumullah. And the third question concerning the predestination.
Yes.
One is when the Quran says that whatever befalls you, all is from God.
Beg pardon?
Whatever befalls a person, that is from God.
Where does it say?
That is, Kullan yusibana illa ma kataballahu lana. Except that Allah has ordained it.
Who is addressed?
Kul is the Holy Prophet. I mean,
exactly, that's
the
right.
Holy Prophet Muhammad.
So you should understand this verse in the context of that. The fact is that during the jihad between the believers and the non-believers, sometimes the Muslims suffered and the non-believers began to jeer and mock at them and say, look here, you are going to be destroyed. You see, you are also suffering. So in answer to that, he is told, the Holy Prophet is told by Allah, that tell them that as far as we are concerned, we are in safe hands. Whatever befalls us, according to Allah, is a trial which will be rewarded. And our destiny is made. Kataba refers to another verse here. The Kataba mentioned here refers to another verse in which Allah says, Kataballahu la'aghlibanna ana wa rusuli. So the Holy Prophet is told that your destiny is already made and decided. You are going to come out victorious. In that process, what small calamities befall you, they were meaningless. So tell them, we know what is befalling us, and it is destined even beforehand. So this is why in Surah Ahzab, the believers are, according to the Holy Quran, reported to say that what is befalling us, we knew it beforehand. Because Allah had told us, predicted, that this is going to happen to you. So that is the kitabat here mentioned. The calamities which befall during the course of jihad, during the course of holy war, is not only predestined in the sense that Allah knows it, but Allah also foretells this to the people. For instance, what happened in 1974 was predicted word for word by Hazrat Muslim Maud, basing that prediction on some verses of the Holy Quran. He said that such things are going to happen to Jamaat Ahmadiyya, and he described that as if he is seeing what is going to happen. So that is the type of destiny which is mentioned here in this verse.
Yes, sir. But in another verse of the Holy Quran, though I can't recollect the full words, but just what it is, the subject matter is concerning that whatever you do is from your own hand. That is, whatever befalls you, it is from your own.
So it is not this is why I explained this verse.
Yeah.
In the light of this explanation, there is no contradiction. You are building this question towards a contradiction.
Yes.
So one leg has fallen. Because in view of this explanation of this verse, that verse does not stand in contradiction to this anymore.
What of the opinion of the opponents? They think that, the opponents of Islam.
I have already explained.
Yes.
In view of this explanation,
Yes,
when the first verse you quoted is explained away like I did, then no sane opponent can call it in contradictory to the other verse you have just quoted.
Yes.
That means that Allah wants good to happen to you if you follow that. In fact, it is a limited translation which creates all these confusions. The second verse which you have quoted should be taken on its merit alone, and if you once understand the import of that verse, then no question of any contradiction would ever arise in your mind with that verse or any other verse. That verse is describing a general phenomenon, a plan of things in Allah's creation. That plan is that if you follow the laws of Allah completely and perfectly, they are so perfect, there is no contradiction whatsoever in those laws, that you will never face any dangers from any side. You will live a perfect life and a well-oiled and well-lubricated life. There will be no friction, nothing wrong would happen to you. But because life as such, whether it's an animal life prior to man's stage or man's life, because life as general cannot perfectly attune itself to the laws of nature, so you begin to see contradictions and disease and accidents and such things happen. So Allah tells us that whatever befalls you by the way of calamities is your own doing. It is not as Allah would desire it. Allah desires good for you. So whatever of good comes to you, that is Allah's doing. Despite your best efforts, you do receive some good. If it were left to you, you will always suffer. If you were left to do your own things, your own things of your own choice, you will be completely deprived of goodness. Then the whole world would become wicked and evil. Because in some things you simply can't help changing things. So, benefit of goodness flows from Allah to you. For instance, there are laws of nature you can't change, you can't interfere with. For instance, the time of your sowing wheat and the time of reaping the harvest and so on and so forth. They are general laws of nature which you can't change. So when the seed is thrown, even if you do not care, even if you make, even if you commit mistakes, still the laws of nature are so perfect that you do get some reward. And the rain comes without your effort. The water is carried from the seas to the mountains through a system in which you have nothing to do. All your follies cannot stand in the way of these monsoons or other winds laden with moisture. All this is going on for your benefit in nature. I mean, this is a very small example of what's happening quietly without ever noticing it. So that is the general import of this verse, that keep balanced. And they are kept out of your reach. You can't interfere in. But when things are left to you, then you destroy things. You break the laws. You distort the laws. You change the laws to your advantage selfishly and to the disadvantage of other human beings. So the trouble starts. So if you pursue the source of troubles, it will always be determined to lie with you, not with God or with the laws of nature.